I'm John Crestani. I've made millions of dollars on the internet, and I've done that largely through being able to write compelling copy, compelling words that sell whatever product or service I am trying to market at the time. Now, in this video, I'm actually going to go over how to write compelling copy, how to write compelling advertisements that get your customers to want to buy whatever product it is that you are selling. Hey, so I've made millions of dollars as an affiliate marketer, and a lot of that is because I'm able to write good ads that motivate people that are browsing, Facebook or Google or YouTube to actually want to buy whatever product or service it is that I'm selling. This skill is called copywriting, and it is a skill. It's kind of, there's a bit of an art to it. I call it the art of copywriting, and being able to write words that make people want to buy whatever it is you're selling is a fantastic skill that's really opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be able to live whatever life it is that I want. Last year I made $3.4 million and I don't have any employees. It's purely me working for myself. And what's great about being able to write good copy or good advertisements is that it's a skill you can take with you anywhere. No matter what happens in my life, I know I can always write advertisements and make money. It's like John Lennon said, he knows he'll never be able to go hungry because he'll just write another song. He had a skill where he could write good songs and people would want to listen to them. And just like John Lennon and his songwriting skills, I have my copywriting skills, not on the same level as, the Beatles, but I still have a skill that I can use to make money. Now, I'm going to be going over a few of the steps you can use to write compelling copy that sells. Now, the first step that you want to do to be able to write compelling copy is you want to get acquainted with your customer. And part of that is research. Research what other marketing messages are the people that you're trying to talk to, what else are they reading? What are they watching? Look at if you're in the weight loss niche, what other advertisements selling weight loss are out there? Read them or listen to them or watch them, whatever it is. Try to understand what they're saying and how they're saying it. And the best copywriters, what you do is actually write it out by hand. So my friend Craig Clemens out here runs it's a multi-$100 million business selling health supplements to people around the world. And he does that by having compelling stories. He had a really compelling story teaching people about probiotics. He had a sales letter called The American Parasite, and he was explaining how sugar and other sugar substitutes were fed into the American diet after fat was viewed as a negative substance in foods. So instead of using fats in foods, people started using sugars and sweeteners, and that caused a lot of gut problems. And he eventually went on in the sales letter to explain how probiotics can combat these and help you live a healthier life. Now, he had a few things. He had an interesting story to tell, and he told it in a very engaging way. He was able to motivate people to change their habits and buy and use this really unique substance, which is called probiotics. Years ago, it was relatively unknown, but it blew up in popularity after he wrote this sales letter. Within, I forget, but he went from he took his business. They were working out of, him and his brothers were working out of his apartment, and he wrote a good sales letter, and the first day they launched it, they did over $500,000 in sales of their product. It's insane, but that's the power of a good story. So number one rule is get acquainted with your customer. Read as much material as you can that is out there and write it down. Write some of it down by hand. The best advertisements, write them down by hand. And the reason we do that is because it gives you, it builds up, not reading it is one thing, but when you're writing it, you're engaging multiple parts of your brain and your physicality to really kind of understand and ingrain this style of writing into your body so that you can get used to writing stories and good ads that will sell your product. Actually write a biography of your customer. Let's say I'm selling a dating product. I'm teaching women how to find a boyfriend. Maybe you want to get very specific. Maybe I'm writing to a 42-year-old woman named Teresa who lives in Minnetonka, Minnesota, who recently got divorced from her husband. She has 2 kids, ages 8 and 13, with her ex-husband, and she wants to start dating again. She doesn't really even know how to at her age, but she knows that she doesn't want to just be going on tons of dates, and she doesn't want to be left high and dry by guys. Be very specific. What is their race? What is their ethnicity? What hobbies do they have? What do they like doing on the weekends? What movies do they watch? What type of car do they drive? You want to get very specific in writing a biography of your customer and really getting into their brain to be able to point out specific things in their life. A good example is pointing out specific pain points or problems or even annoyances in their life. Maybe for me, when I was younger, if I was trying to date girls, a specific annoyance for me was, I would go out at night, I'd get a girl's phone number and I'd text her, but I'd never get a response back. And a minor annoyance would be getting a notification on my phone, being kind of excited, hoping it was that girl I texted, and then checking my phone only to be let down because it was my brother, letting me know that that one of the cats got out of my apartment. Now, when you start copywriting, usually what you're doing when you're selling a product or service, when you start, is you're actually writing either to people in your same situation, or you're writing to somebody who was in your situation a few years, or a situation, you're writing to a former version of yourself. A lot of my customers, when I started out in marketing, selling educational courses, I was writing to a younger version of myself. I was writing, when I'd reached some modicum of success online, and I started making a few $1 million a year, I started writing my sales letters to a version of myself that was 5 years ago, before I knew the techniques that I knew to create an internet business. And oftentimes, many people, they create businesses or solutions to problems that they themselves once had, whether that's, a fitness instructor, or somebody who created a diet, or somebody who created a really cool line of clothing. Usually people create products that they themselves want, and you might be writing to just simply a younger version of yourself that didn't know what you know now. So that could be a good starting point to writing the biography of your customer. But again, get very, very, very specific. Again, you need to know their age, their gender, their race, give a name to them. Give hobbies. What type of car do they drive? Where do they live? What town do they live in? What things annoy them? That'll help you start to put together this sales letter, the sales material for your customer. The third step is you want to really dive deep into the pain points that make your customer tick. So maybe your customer is scared of running out of money in retirement. Or maybe your customer is overweight, but they feel like they don't have the time to lose weight. They feel awkward going to the gym and, being, looked at or judged, or wearing the specific clothing that people are wearing in the Equinox, which is, down the street from them. Or maybe the gym nearby them that they can afford is just kind of grimy and disgusting, and they'd rather have a way to work out at their home and lose weight, but without all of the social pressure of being in a gym. But know the specific pain points that come up for your customer. For many of my customers, they want to be able to stay at home with their kids and spend more time with their family, and they're tired of long commutes to a job which they don't like, and they're tired of surrounding themselves with coworkers that they won't even be friends with in real life. Other customers of mine, for instance, are corporate employees, and they have some level of success in their job, and they're frustrated because they can't exactly translate that success they've had in their job to success working for themselves. And they've tried a number of things, but they just don't get it, and they want a system that they can apply to actually make money working for themselves. They want to have that freedom. They feel like they've reached success some success financially, but they don't have that freedom. So again, get very specific into the pain points that your customers is facing. One of the pain points for one of my friend's products, who's selling a skincare product, is that, the women who bought his skincare product, they went to the bathroom and they looked in their face every morning. They felt the wrinkles reminded them that they were old, and they didn't want to be reminded that they were old. And also, jealousy came up because, they knew their husband was going to work every day and he had a younger assistant than her age, or, the woman's age. And it caused jealousy, and she felt like she's, getting old and she's not as sexually desirable anymore. And these are real pain points. And if you can speak to the pain points, if you can speak to the customer in their own language, if you can speak to the customer and say things that they themselves are thinking but are not willing to say, then you're starting to build a rapport with your customer that's much deeper than can generally be done on, even a phone call. And that's where marketing gets really powerful. And when you start the conversation and really enter the conversation the customer is already having in their head, you are on the path to win and to really make a lot of money marketing whatever it is that you're selling. Now, the second part of these major pain points, which I've pointed out, is you want to write down the minor irritations that they face. I kind of mentioned a few of these before, but write down those minor irritations that this customer faces or this potential customer faces that would keep them annoyed. So for instance, I teach people how to do affiliate marketing, which is what I do. I run an online business. Big thing is people want more money. People want to have freedom and more money. But some of the minor irritations are having to go to a restaurant, then having to make sure you don't look at the bottom of the menu because that's where the most expensive items are. You want to make sure to find the more reasonably priced items. Another minor irritation might be when you go to a restaurant and you see all of the prices don't have any, cents in them. They're just raw dollars, because usually if the price next to the food is just 15, that's going to be a more expensive restaurant. That's like, oh shoot, I'm going to spend more money than I want to spend here. That's just a minor irritation that you might face during the day, that somebody who doesn't have enough money or who's short on cash, that's a reality for them. So again, those minor irritations will help you kind of enter the conversation that your customer is already having in their head. Now, the next step is you will want to write out the benefits, okay? The benefits that your product or solution, or let's say you're an affiliate for a product, what are the benefits of the product or service that you're offering this customer? A quick and easy way to make money online passively. A simple 30-minute trick to making money online every day for the rest of your life. Now, those are just examples. That's not real, But the point being, you want to write down what are the benefits. It'll help you make more money, or it will help you look better, or it will help you be more desirable to the opposite sex, or it will help you shoot better videos. It will help you edit videos like a professional editor with non-professional skills, etc. Whatever the benefits of your product are, write them down, because this is how you'll close out your sales letter and put together your copy to push people towards a purchase. If you want to go deeper into what copywriting is, I gave you a little kind of like primer on, how to write compelling copy. And a lot of it is you want to actually write this stuff out. You want to get it in your muscle memory, in your brain memory. And the only way you can do that is if you activate all of the senses, not just read it, but actually the physicality of writing it out will help ingrain this skill into you and help you become more powerful. I have a free course. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll see on my channel homepage there's a free course called The Art of Copywriting. There's some videos in there from people I've learned copywriting from, which include my friend Carlos Cruz and Ronnie Sandlin, who are expert copywriters. And what's funny about them is English is not their first language, but they've used this skill and honed this skill and really learned how to sell products via marketing, and they've created 7-figure and 8-figure businesses by just being able to write good ads. So they're really good people to learn from. They're people I've learned from, and I suggest, it's a free course on my YouTube channel. So subscribe and check it out. Now, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big like, and if you'd like to see more videos where I go in depth into some of these skills that are important to affiliate marketing or just marketing in general, such as, optimization, copywriting, and research, let me know in the comments below. And if I get enough comments about this, I will go into more skill-based videos. But in general, I find most people aren't really attracted to the skill-based videos, and this is something, that I go deeper in my 6-week training course. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next video.